because I know somebody else was there.
All right.
And there wasn't any ice in
Meeting
another
comes to order,
spot.
please.
So,
It is 6:03, March 5th, 2018. Present, Brian Carlisle, Stanley Smith, and Cindy Grant. I'd like to do the warrants first, get those out of the way, along with the approving past minutes.
Is it gonna be a public comment?
I'm moving that to the end of minutes. That's all
awesome.
right.
I've got it.
Hello, Renee.
Hi, guys.
And Renee O'Donnell is present through a video conference. Move to accept warrant AP 74, $121,753.66. PY 75.
No,
What's
I
that?
forgot we go through it all.
Okay. PY 75, $8,115.30. AP 76, $3,014.06. AP 77, $12,304.36. AP 78, $1,002.50. PY 79, $3,993.02. PY 80, $1,242.28. PY 81, $538.25. AP 82, $1,218.50. AP 83, $2,886.94. And AP 84 in the amount of $147,576.32.
Second.
All in favor? 2-0 in favor. Now on to the minutes, past minutes of February 5th, 2018. Move to accept the minutes of February 5th, 2018 as written.
Second.
Any discussion? You all set with it?
No, I'm all set.
Okay, all in favor?
Yep.
2-0 in favor of accepting the minutes. And now let's move to public comment. If we could, please. Anybody who would care to say anything? Close?
Yeah, just curious if anyone had taken out any nomination papers for the selectman seat?
We have some here for Renee O'Donnell.
Renee is taking them out?
Yes,
Is that
that's the only one I'm aware of. Anybody else? Agenda adjustments? Is that what you wanna, do you wanna change anything?
No?
Okay. Let's move on to department reports. We'll do fire first, Chief.
We run 5 calls this past month, 2 1055s on the interstate, warehouse fire in Herman. We had a called out for traffic control for DLT on the state police on Route 9 with a big grader in the road, I guess you call it. There's a little more than a pothole, so. Then left assist the Herman ambulance over in Carmel, so that was basically what we run for calls. The budget's been submitted to the town manager to go to the budget committee. We're currently taking quotes for some SCBA's and stuff. I'm gonna talk to the budget committee before I bring it to you guys. I put it on here, I kind of miswrote it, but that's my intention, is to take it to them first for approval, and then we'll go from there. The ones we currently have are 15 plus years old. They're not really compliant, we can't even get the pass alarms and stuff for them anymore, so we've currently borrowed 3 from Carmel to pass lines just to keep them in service. So we're gonna look at that with them and see what direction they'd like to go on that.
Okay.
We're still waiting for a response on the grant on the fire truck we put in for. We bought the 4 new pagers for the forestry grant. We received them, that's all in the process of being closed out. Reimbursement we'll get for that. We also got a grant for a flammable cabinet through MMA. That's going to be ordered probably tomorrow. Year to date, we've run 47 calls so far this year, since July. That's, the fire department's working real well as a team. They're a good strong force now, so I mean, pretty much they're back up and running at full force.
Yeah, you're having a good turnout on all your calls.
Yep.
3, 4, 5 guys, that's pretty good.
Yep. And we're currently working on the brush truck, trying to get that up and running for the upcoming brush fire season, which is just around the corner, so. Wednesday, I'll let up a little bit, give us some more time, I guess, so.
Yeah. Is that gonna be a major undertaking to get that brush truck?
I don't believe so, I think they're getting it pretty well.
Yeah, we just gotta put the batteries back in and do some fine tune adjustments on the pump for the water flow. And the new reel, everything's all on, it's all hooked, so it's just final adjustments right now.
Good.
That's all I got, unless you got any questions for me, I guess.
I'm good with that. You?
Oh,
Sam?
yeah, I'm great.
Thank you. The rescue chief is gonna be a little late this evening, so we'll bypass that and come back to it when he comes. Gary, library?
We're all set.
Somehow I knew that.
I'd be surprised if something else was said.
Town manager for bank reconciliation.
Yep, I gave you, the ones that were missing, the December ones that were missing last time. You got January's bank recs and budget reports for February. Do you have any questions?
For the budget, and I don't think I got the February unless I'm looking at it. All I see is January figures.
For,
But are there any items of concern that we're getting close to that you're seeing? For example, sand or salt for the winter we've been having?
no, winter sand's fine. We had money left. That'll cover one of the subjects I got on here. They put up 800 yards of salt sand today, with 2 truckloads of salt that were delivered last Thursday. But we do have an issue with the fire department payroll. Because of the increased calls and the increased membership and the increase in trainers, we're running out of money in the salary for the firemen.
I suppose 2 out of 3 of them are good things, right?
We have a couple of choices. We can either just continue paying them, let the account run overage, and just ask the town to ratify it at town meeting, which would just say, yes, it's okay. Or you can take it out of your unanticipated, which I think increased call volume and increased roster would be an unanticipated expense, out of the overlay account.
And how is that doing?
Has $9,000 in it. Um, As of today, $9,968.79. And I believe I would account for between 4 and 5 to get us through to the end of the year.
Just to be safe.
Just to be safe. Be
Just to
safe.
be safe. She'd like to ask a question.
Do we have to maintain any sort of amount in our overlay like that? I mean, it's just for our purposes, this is for purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year.
So we've still got 4 months left though, right?
Right.
Do you anticipate anywhere else running short or anything like that?
I don't foresee it at this point. Actually, the budget's pretty good with expenditures left over. The biggest amount that came out of that was that culvert
Yep.
Oh,
thing
right.
that we paid for out of that, or we'd have
Yeah,
the
that
full
fishery.
amount, so.
I know my preference would be to take it out of that rather than push it into next year.
That's what I would rather do too. I mean,
Yeah, I
like,
definitely take that overlay. So we don't have to deal with a town meeting and somebody deciding we don't wanna pay these guys or something and.
Oh, beyond that, it's expenses that we're incurring this year, so
For this year,
I'd rather
right.
pay it this year.
We got the money to pay it anyway with the overlay.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
I wanna pay these guys.
Uh,
We got them here now, and there's a good bunch of guys, let's keep that going.
A move to take funds from the overlay account to cover the shortage for the unanticipated salaries of the fire department.
Second.
All in favor? 2-0.
Here and there, what do we have for supper?
Turn this way, I'm hungry.
Is there anything else that you wanted to cover in the
Nope,
budget aspect?
nope.
Cemetery committee?
I don't think they've got anything as of right now. They're working on the maps and,
Looking at the budget, it looks like they have a fair amount of money left in theirs, but they haven't done
they
any,
had, they got in the committee, the cemetery committee got in late in the
Right,
season,
yeah.
so they didn't have a chance. They tried, you know. We are going to have a spring cleanup, which is gonna take
the biggest run
a
of it.
little bit of, well, probably $1,000 to $1,500 of that. Because that was part of what was put in the
Right.
budget, is to have a
Right.
fall and spring cleanup and get the leaves cleaned up and that
Right.
sort of stuff. But they didn't have a chance to, you know, get anybody in there to
Understood, yeah.
fix stones and level and that sort of stuff. They mainly were cleaning over the time period before the snow fell.
Okay. Move on to roads.
As I said, Wellman's put up another 800 yards of salt sand today. I have had an odd request, and I'm not sure. I had a request for, a moving company is going to be moving some people out of a house on the Mudgett Road. And the roads are posted, and they asked that they have permission, because what they were gonna do is shuttle from the house to their big truck, because their big truck can't go down there. But they've asked if they could put their big truck at the salt shed and shuttle from the home to there, where it's so close to the end. And I didn't know what to tell them. It's up to you. They're doing it April 11th, I believe.
And they're gonna be out of the way of
Can I
any,
add one? I would recommend you them shuttle from the state salt shed and go all the way down the road. I, moving
their only other choice is to park out on Route 9 and shuttle to Route 9, which is gonna
That would
cause
set up
a,
a dangerous
it
situation.
would.
Yeah, I would think it makes more sense doing it at the
Where is
sand
your
shed.
house?
It's down on the other
Other end.
other end, but,
Kind of back.
yeah, so, like I said, they've asked if they could park the big truck. It's a company out of New Hampshire. If they could,
Park it at the salt
at the
shed.
salt shed and use the little truck to shuttle to the big
Yeah.
truck. And the little truck would not be overweight.
I personally don't see any problem with that.
Nor do I.
Unless there's fire training going on out there or something.
They're gonna be 2 days, but that truck I don't believe will be in anybody's way.
As
So,
long as he doesn't park in front of a loading dock or something,
Yeah.
you know?
so you're all good with it as
Yes,
long as,
yes.
all right, I'll let him know. The last thing I got is, the beaver is back on the Chapman Road.
Oh,
My life has been a beaver for a year now. So I contacted Tim and he was supposed to go over today, but he hasn't messaged me whether he got over there or not. I did get down and yes, they are there. The water is almost over the culvert on the one side and just barely dribbling out on the other. So they, he will take care of it.
Oh,
So, that's all I got on roads.
all right.
And I don't believe the building committee's here at all.
No, basically what I think they're running into there is pretty much a decision I think has been made, and I believe that this next meeting is probably gonna be your last. And then I would expect after that, they'll make a presentation to
Yep.
the board. Moving on to new business, we have a rec committee presentation from Ben Herbst.
Ben?
I'm Ben Hermes, the lead pastor here in Newburgh, down on the Lindsay Road. And we opened up the doors at the end of August, beginning of September last year. I met you guys, I think it's been a while since I've been here, so thank you again, by the way. Things have been going good at the church. Just giving an overlay of what's going on in my neck of the woods over there before I just start talking about the rec committee. So we've been having Sunday morning services there at the church, and we got things pretty much cleaned up in the building in itself, and we're working on building a community hall downstairs, like a coffee shop open to the community. So we've been working on that. And we've been having services 10:30 and Sunday mornings and Tuesday nights at 7. We've been connecting with other churches in the area, in Bangor area. There's a pastor up there who's even connected with Tyler Perry, if anybody has ever seen like Medea or anything like that. So some good things coming out of there. We have been working with that church in Bangor, and Dixmont, and Hamden. Our next big project there at the church is to build a ramp, a handicap ramp on the front door, so people can come up into the church through the front door. So everyone can come in there. Food pantry, we've been feeding people there. That's been going fairly well. So this kind of ties into the rec committee, and I was in prayer asking God what He wanted me to do in this community. What was the purpose of this church? Because every church needs a purpose. I don't want to just be yapping my mouth every Sunday morning. So we need a purpose, and what God had laid on my heart is that the church needs to bring unity to this community and restoration of the brokenhearted and the broken spirit. And there's a lot of that in this community that needs that. And I'm just trusting on Him in that. So that's where my heart came out of the rec committee. I saw a need, and just talking with different people. And I had a couple of people that were interested in joining me. them ended up getting jobs. One of them has got their foot halfway in the door, so I don't think at this point, probably gonna start a rec committee. It's just, I would love to, but I can't do it by myself. And I have a family and a church to take care of. My family comes first, even before the church ministry. God, family, church, and a rec committee right now can't be something that I can take on by myself. And the only reason why I'm here tonight is because I told you guys I would be, and I didn't want to just not show up and just be not a man of my word. So I would love to see a rec committee, and if there is one, I could help out, do events. I want to see more events in Newburgh. I want to see us coming together for some other purpose than, I'd like to see Newburgh Days come back. If we can help with that in any way, I would love to. Even if we just plan something, if I work with the town and we can work together just on Newburgh Days, I can give my time to that. But being and setting forth events to do something every month or 2 months, at this point, I don't want to say I can do something and then fail. So I can work on the Newburgh Days and work with everybody in the community to get that going. I would like to see everyone come together to do that, whether it's here at the town hall where it's always been, or if it's on the church property or wherever. I think that should be up to the town. But I'm open for ideas, and I just want to be a willing person to serve, so I just can't do it by myself.
Well, thank you for that. We did have a rec committee up until about a year ago. And it kind of just fell by the wayside. The resignation letter came with what I thought was kind of a warning to it, in that saying that because there really is no interest in the town and there's such a lack of people helping, that we were warned that it just would not work. Just a moment before I get my train of thought. One thing that seems to me is something has changed. I mean, you used to look at this school and you'd see kids playing all the time, basketball, all kinds of different functions, but it doesn't seem to be happening anymore here. Talking with some people, they feel that most everything is moved to Hamden, or maybe it's just the changing of the times. I don't know.
It's what was your name again?
Brian.
Brian. Okay. And I just think, I don't think people like change. The people and times are changing. Things are changing. I changed the name of the church, and I know there's a lot of people upset about that, but
you're right on that.
You can't
Change
please.
is hard.
You can't please everybody all the time. Everybody wants to do something new, but nobody's willing to do something new. And so that's I think what we all have come up against: the town, the people, everybody, the church, and we just need to press through. I think if we just stand our ground and in the light of unity and doing it for the right purposes, then it doesn't matter who shows up, as long as people show up.
Yeah.
I just want willing people to show up, and if people want to come, they come, and if they don't, they don't. I'm not preaching in my church for the numbers. If I did, I'd be giving up by now. We're growing little by little, but if I were expecting a full house and that was the reason why I was doing it, then it's not going to work.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been meaning to get in touch with Ben. I've got some ideas, just need to know what the limitations would be at the church. Last year, having community dinners here, and the kitchen was not state inspected or certified, so only allowed to have a certain number, and then went with the meals for me, brown bagging it. That was not popular at all. I was wondering if the church there's a functioning kitchen there at the church.
Absolutely.
It would be, we could try doing the community dinners there once a month. And something that I ended up in Florida for a couple weeks about this time of year. And down there they have what they call music bingo. On Monday nights in this community, the bingo cards have songs on them. And they play a song, like 30 seconds of a song, and if you've got that song on your card, then, it's like playing bingo. But about partway through, they say, okay, everybody dance. So all of these people are getting up and dancing, and then they finish the bingo game, and in this particular community, if you win, you get a free drink. But I'm sure that
That ain't gonna happen in
there's
church.
other prizes. There could be other
You're drunk in the Holy
prizes.
Spirit leaving the church.
I think if there's an interest in that, what you might want to do is get together and put your thoughts together and present it to the budget committee. Because this year we have no money to,
Oh, it
pursue
would
that,
not, okay, one question is, are potluck suppers allowed at the church?
Yeah, we got the insurance, I got the insurance on the church.
Okay, so that right there, the town would not have to put anything forward from a budget. This would all be voluntary.
That's something we can probably talk about in more
Yeah.
time instead of right now.
Yeah, so, I mostly wanted to know if the kitchen was functional, if it would be allowed. And, we need to get together, and I think we can do some community. I'm volunteering to help with the recreation.
Okay.
okay, thank you.
So, on that, should we put that on an agenda at some point with the town to see if there is a census of doing Newburgh Days again? Is that something that we want to do, or is it we're just gonna just let it go? Because I really, really want to do something in this community that's gonna bring us together to do something. We need something that's going to, the church can only do so much, but we need people that are willing to come together.
Well, I think that needs a person for catalyst for something like that, and any of these things that have the money involved will have to go through the budget committee and we'll have to budget for it.
Yeah.
And I forget now how much we spent on Newburgh Days, but it was somewhat substantial with the fireworks and everything. But I think that the straw that broke the back for the past rec committee was the Newburgh Days, where it was such a poor turnout. They saw no interest in it and decided to disband.
It can be discouraging.
That was a big part of what happened with the rec department. I mean, they had very few people to help, do the projects, but the lack of people showing up, attendance, it went away.
Right.
And the rec department.
It can be
Well, the
discouraging.
functions, the Easter egg hunt, not Newburgh Days so much as the Easter egg hunt, the Halloween trunk or treat, that sort of stuff, they were always in competition with Hamden Rec, because they always did big things, and, if you didn't have them, 2 weeks out from the holiday, Hamden had them, and people were going to the school for functions, and Hamden Rec for functions, stuff like that. Everything like that had moved to that.
Yeah, we'll let them to do their thing, we'll do our thing, and we'll have something to be proud of in our town.
But that's what happened.
We need
with-
something to be proud of in our town. If it's just gonna be the church, we'll be the church, we'll stand up, but, I just wanna do my part, and whatever that takes. I don't wanna just be stuck over on Lindsay Road doing our thing secluded from the town. I wanna be part of this community, I live in this community. I live 10 minutes from here on the Miles Road. I got kids, I got a family, I got a wife, and we want something to be part of this community. And if people aren't gonna come to church, let's have a Newburgh Day. let's come together over something. Find a common ground.
Tracy?
Cheap, easy idea would be a townwide yard sale. You can have it here, have it outside. There's not a lot of, everybody's bringing their own table, their own everything. Charge them all $5 to raise some money for whatever. And it doesn't take a lot of people volunteering to do it. And then everybody's got their own table. But yeah, I mean, people like me that live a half mile up a dirt road, I had a yard sale one year and I had like 6 people. So, because we are rural and that way it's cheap and easy and, we can see if anybody has any interest in.
Well, is it next year? In 2019, is that the town's birthday?
Yep.
So,
We do something this year, do trial and error, and then
Try to-
hopefully be perfected by.
try to get a group of people together to get something, do something together for maybe the town's birthday.
Yeah. I'd be willing to spearhead that, and if people don't show up, they don't show up, they're missing out on the best time of their lives, so, their fault.
Well, maybe the approach would be if you're interested in that, get a group together and think about what might be a nice thing to do and come back and present it either to Cindy or to the board. Again, it would have to go through the budget committee.
Which starts
But I
maybe
gotta-
next week.
Yeah,
Maybe we could work on the birthday and do work on next year, and we could do something big.
yeah,
Go big or go home.
absolutely.
We'll show up Hamden, they'll be coming here.
All right. Dave Hagan is here for the marijuana one. Are you here for the marijuana portion?
Well, I can tell you that we sat in Augusta on Dave Hagan last week, and they gave us a series of bullet points on how the new bill is progressing. The old bill voted in November, that one was killed, forcing those guys to go back to the drawing board. And they gave us a sneak peek of what's going to happen. And as I was summarizing a couple of things earlier, as far as in the old bill, the municipalities were going to be able to collect some money in taxes. That's not going to be in this new one. All municipalities will get nothing from the 20%.
Can municipalities charge fees?
You're able to
Fees?
charge fees and whatnot, but as far as the 20% tax goes,
Yeah.
the municipalities will get nothing from that. And then they give the municipalities the power to do anything. And one thing that was different this time around than the last time around is when Joe Schmo sets up his dispensary, if you can disallow it anyway. But if the town municipality decides to say yes to dispensaries, and then all of a sudden you've got varying dispensaries going up, you're allowed at any point to say, yeah, we don't like this anymore, and shut them down immediately and put an end to it. So the municipalities have, through the new bill, a tremendous amount of power compared to what they did before. I was curious about, we're teachers in Hamden at Reedsbrook Middle School. For those of you who don't know us, I'm a 8th grade social studies, she's 6th grade social studies. This is my lovely wife, Kim. So I was really curious with the vaping and the synthetic marijuana. Are they going to allow this in the recreational thing? Because thousands of kids all around the country are dying due to the overdose with these synthetics. It's really become a crisis. So in the old way, they were talking about allowing it. This time, no synthetics. It has to be, the plant itself. And so those are some of the things that are in the bullets. And what I'll do tomorrow is they put out worksheets, which we got, and I'll send you all the specific details. The marijuana bill should be out this week or next week to be voted upon. And I have a problem with marijuana. I don't think it should be legalizing a new drug. But I'm probably gonna vote for this because the marijuana that's legal right now is from the referendum language, which was horrible legislation. This new legislation puts a lot of guidelines and rules, very strict. It allows you guys the power to really regulate and have complete control and mastery of this thing that, I don't know how it happened, but it did. So when I vote for it, I'm not voting for marijuana, I'm voting to give the municipalities and the state more power in controlling this thing and keeping it out of the hands of the kids. In the old bill, they allowed 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to work at dispensaries. In the new bill, you can't do that. It's 21 and up, period. So,
Do you think this is gonna pass?
I do. I knew it wasn't gonna pass because I'm Republican. And in the Republican caucus, there are enough Republicans in that caucus to kill any bill and sustain any veto. And all of them were together in thinking that the marijuana committee had good hearts, but they just threw stuff together, and it was really very poor in a lot of ways.
They were smoking before they were.
I don't know what they were doing, but now, especially at the offsite caucus last week, all the leadership and all of the people said, okay, you can vote where you want on this one, but we need to give the towns and the state the ability to enforce these things, and the police. The police have to have the ability to figure out how they're going to enforce this thing with operating under influence and things like that. This bill will empower those entities. So I think enough of the group that was going to kill it, the group that killed it twice, that's the one I'm in, the numbers are gone now, so it's going to pass. The governor, though, he'll probably veto it. Then there'll be a vote to override, and I don't know what the numbers will be on that. So, it's crazy down there in Augusta, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is. But sometimes it's crazy here.
It's unbelievable, yeah.
Huh. Well, thank you very much.
All right.
We skipped around here. Let's go back to town meeting.
Okay, do you guys wanna make a vote on where our elections are gonna take place, on the 12th of June? So, can I get you to vote on the Thursday after?
Elections are on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yes, the
You want to
12th.
hold the town meeting the following
Thursday
Thursday
at
night.
6:30.
Okay.
Did we do it on a Thursday last year? I thought it was earlier in the week.
Nope, it was on a Thursday.
Which would be the 14th?
I believe it is the 14th, yes.
And this is following the same method that we used last year.
Yep. And you had mentioned to me about setting 2 consecutive dates. The moderator has to set that. The people say when that, if we don't finish that night, when it's
Oh,
continued
okay.
to.
All right.
So,
And I'll move to hold the annual town meeting June 14th, 2018,
6:30 p.m.
6:30 PM.
Second.
All in favor? 2-0 in favor. Next one is the DOT request.
I've never received one of these before, and I'm kinda
I was gonna ask.
leery of it. Especially with $2 million worth of brand new paved roads.
Yeah. But the project they're speaking about is
Western
the Route
Avenue.
9. And the only thing I can think of is moving vehicles, loaded and empty vehicles on side roads to get to Route 9, correct?
Well, I don't, yeah, I don't know where they're coming from or, because they're asking for like a carte blanche permission to cross the roads during posted season, which I don't even know, they're not even gonna get started on this project before May 15th, I wouldn't think.
You would think.
They're just putting an overlay
Do they
on
have a
what's
start
not,
date on that?
huh?
Do they have a start date on it? Usually they
No,
No?
no. No, it's kind of a, what it says is, well, I'll read it. The Maine Department of Transportation will soon advertise the subject project for construction and pursuant to MRSA 29A, we have established a construction area. A copy of the is enclosed in your information. Also included is an agreement which requires signatures of the municipal officers and additional background to the documents. And what it's saying is, when they put this out to bid, that the contractor, whoever he will give him permission to transport whatever over town roads. But it's a blanket approval.
And they're asking if we will be insisting on a performance bond or
Yeah. And this is for
damage
an overlay
bond.
on Western Avenue. I just,
But it's gotta be the damage of side roads that they haul on is what they're
Yeah.
looking for, correct?
I mean, I don't know where they'd be coming from other than the interstate, and they'd be on 69, their roads. I don't know if they'd be
Shouldn't
like
be much
the,
for town roads to be
The only
involved.
thing we gotta do here is like, they might back up into something to stage vehicles and stuff like that in the mouth of them. They're gonna grind joints and things of that nature to connect, but that's basically, it's just asking the permission to be any down, basically.
says the agreement
Making you aware that he has to.
stipulates the municipality will issue a permit for a stated period of time to the main DOT contractor for transporting construction equipment, backhoes, bulldozers, etc., that exceed legal weight limits over municipal roads. The agreement acknowledges the municipality's right to require a bond from the contractor to guarantee suitable repair or payment of damages.
So they tell you where they're paving?
They're paving Western Avenue, just
From
past
Burgess?
Chapman Road all the way to Hamden.
Okay. So we only got a mile, so mile and
Yeah.
a half.
Yep,
The volume here is not really a whole lot, really.
so
So they'll fix any damages.
I guess it's up to you guys whether you wanna sign this or not.
Doing the work.
Hold on. Just got a question.
Do we have to sign it?
That's a good question.
I would kind of, it'd be nice to know who the contractor is, where they're coming from. I mean, they might have a pit that goes across the side road, for example, North County Road, or the North Road Extension, you know, a lot of guys come from Herman and come across that road. And, I would say that yes, we would want to require some sort of bond. We just paved all those roads. And that's a big issue. I mean, if someone damages a road, I would like to make sure that we have an assurance from them that it's gonna be fixed and fixed correctly, but I'd kind of like to get a little more information before we sign it. I don't know how the guys feel, that's all I'm saying.
I feel pretty much the same way. I'm surprised that they don't have somebody from the state that would come to a meeting to
This is
present
the
what they're
agreement.
doing.
All the agreement is saying that we will give the contractor a permission,
Right.
but we
we
may
have-
require a performance bond and this and that and the other thing. I mean,
Because depending on who the contractor is that's doing that work, it may or may not, I mean, they may say, sure, we do state work all the time, where they're bringing their materials from and, you know, that sort of thing a little bit before we just sign off on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Skip?
I'll go along with them. But I'd like to know a little more about it.
Okay. So
Maybe-
I'll contact them and see if
I
I
was
can
gonna
find
say,
out
see
more
if they
information on it.
can have somebody come to,
We just spent $2 million on those roads out there. I don't wanna see them destroyed by any dump truck, loader, backhoe, excavator, or anything else.
Right.
Right. The little
Just to
hairs
please
on
the
neck.
state.
You know, we're just gonna give you permission to go across whatever road you want. No, maybe we give permission to go across one road or something like that. You know, I just think we hold for a minute and not just sign it and send it right back.
I'll get in contact and try to find out more information or get somebody here to explain
Right.
more, so.
69.
okay, we send on that.
Yep.
Forestry management plan.
I met with the forester, the town forester. I sent you a copy of his email, or gave it to you. We're gonna work on, in the forestry management plan, there was a action plan, which we haven't done any of the items. A lot of them marking lines on our properties, painting the lines on the properties. I don't know, are you familiar with these?
I thought we had addressed that a couple of years ago.
We did, we had a grant,
Yeah,
but we haven't physically done this action plan yet. And he's putting together, because it's becoming the end of it, because there were little cuts on 2 or 3 of them. And the market has finally come back, so he's putting together a plan to do a managed cut on 3 of them. Okay? And he's also, he's gonna do a full inspection of the boundary lines, make sure they're painted correctly, and, he's gonna do the creative detail timber harvesting for 3 out of the 4 lots. So, something I will explain, which I didn't know, and I just found out, this property, this government property that the town has possession of, any funds that are earned from this property in cutting or anything else, any money needed to, maintain those are used out of that. And then the town is supposed to be sending 50% of the balance of any surplus back to the federal government.
Holy crap.
So, because he gave me documents, the agreements and the deeds to this
why
property.
does the federal government have anything to do with it?
No, it came from, it was given to the town by the federal government, it's what they call federal lands. So, we need to spend the money that we have and, make sure we do it properly from this point forward. Yeah, because there's an agreement that was signed by the town, and there's also a deed that was done to the town for this property. So, he will probably be here, I'm thinking maybe the April meeting with the details of, you know, what we wanna do. And then, I think it's next year that we'll get going on a new grant because we have to update this again. So, but he will
That's
be.
10 years old already.
Huh?
How old is that? 10 years, you said?
Yeah, start, this is, 2022 this expires. So we'll get started, because there's a grant.
Right,
We have a
right.
grant and all that stuff, so. But I will continue this on the agenda, so when he gets that other stuff, and we'll get moving on that.
Okay. Trust fund paperwork.
Can we go back to the marijuana
Oh,
ordinance?
yeah?
The reason that I originally put this on, I gave you an email from Bobby
Yes.
Storman. I don't know, did you read it?
Yes.
And I wanted to find out what your thoughts were on her recommended
I
amendments
think
to
she's
this.
correct.
So
I think-
can I do an article just to
Yes.
amend that?
Yes. But are we at the point where we ought to run it by a lawyer?
I can send it to MMA, but
Didn't we do that before? Isn't that where?
that's where the original one came
Yeah.
from. We just adjusted it to suit us. And other than, just this little adjustment, which I think is just something we overseen. It's
I
just
wonder if we should wait as well to see what the final bill is gonna be.
I'll
from
read
the
it
state.
back through, to see, because I think we've eliminated pretty much everything that was of concern.
We did, but I think she's correct on a couple of those
Yeah.
words that should not have been
Yep,
where they were, so.
so, but I'll get the bullets from him and put it on the agenda for next time to do an article to amend it to help her and anything else we need to do.
Okay.
And
I
I'll
wonder
be
if she
in touch.
will, I wonder if she'll be prepared to move forward a little bit once the bill passes.
Yes, she hasn't done
So-
anything yet, she's still looking at Newburgh, that's why she contacted me to see if we've done anything. They've done everything, they've sold their other place and stuff, and they're all ready, but they're not gonna move forward until
Right.
that's final,
Understand that?
so,
Yeah.
but I
So
will,
you're gonna rewrite that as a proposal for the next meeting?
for the select, yes,
Okay. That it
yep,
on that one? Okay. Trust fund paperwork?
yep, town has, a Leroy Bickford Trust, and they send forth these paperworks that every, so often they just need a signature that we're doing with the money, what it, the purpose was.
Saw that, but how can we make a categorically honest commitment that those funds are being spent as they direct on that? I mean, we do give it to the school, but they are specifying it's got to go to hiring teachers. Would it make sense to get a statement from the school saying that part of our taxes comply with that? I mean, by signing that, we're making a commitment that this is being done without having the control of seeing that
But it's
it's
for
correct.
the maintenance and improvement of the public schools in the town, and in the hiring of teachers who are to
Right.
teach in said
I
schools.
understand that, but somebody could sure turn those words around.
Yeah. But we can't change these words, you wanna get, I mean, we don't have to prove to them, I don't think they've ever done that.
I mean, it only makes sense that that money is being spent for those requirements, but, you know, if somebody came,
Well, I think the only, I mean, when salaries at the school are,
Oh, I know.
$4 million and we're getting $2,500.
I suppose we could say that, but,
I think
You
you
know,
could
but
say
therefore-
that it is
Yeah.
going towards
yeah.
that. So,
What do you think? Skip, what do you think of it?
have you signed these before? Have they been requested before, Skip?
Nope, not that I remember of.
Renee, did you get a copy of it?
She hasn't, I didn't send her the
Oh.
packet.
No, I
It's in her box.
I would have a tendency to agree with Cindy, though, that we're contributing $2,500 a year. It's hard to track that kind of a budget.
Yeah.
What was it,
Alright.
what was it supposed to be designated for again, Cindy?
4/10 of it goes to schools and 4/10 of it goes to, roads. And then the other 2/10 of it goes directly to, is this one? Goes directly to the school for a scholarship? Or maybe it's the, no, it is.
That sounds
Yeah,
right.
there's a scholarship.
There was a scholarship.
So, if you don't have any problem,
Let's, we sign it, or you sign it, you need authorization of,
I just need authorization to sign it.
okay. Move to allow the town manager to sign the bank request for verification of funds spent for the Bigfoot Fund.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor? Votes 2-0. All right, I know that, we can go back to rescue.
Hooray.
This is here.
So, we had 6 calls last month, and 5 of the 6 were able to receive a response. We received the 2 radios that you guys approved last month, and we've had them just for a couple days. So we haven't been able to use them in a practical situation, but in the testing, so far they're pretty good. Those were the 2 portable radios that you guys approved last month. We also issued out the individual carbon monoxide alarms for the crews, so if they're working in a toxic environment that they might not know is toxic, this will alert them to that for carbon monoxide, which is really great. Chief Shaw and I are requesting that the I'm Responding program be renewed. It's up for renewal in April. They've given us a contract now to start that process. So there's different options. There's the 1-year option, which is $800, or the 3-year option, which reduces the annual cost to be $725 paid annually. Or we could pay it all up front and save an additional 5% over that. That would be split between the rescue division's budget and the fire division's budget. We both have the money to do it this year, and that would be for a total of $2,066. This is a program that alerts us to calls on our phones and allows us to respond to that, so other people know where we're going and how we're going. So which plan you guys choose to pay or choose to, if at all, to do is split up to you. Chief Shaw and I have definitely seen the benefit from it, as well as the crews who have used it as well. Sometimes the paging system via the radio is unreliable, so this is sort of a backup to that. So we would like to continue using it. So that's one thing about money. And then the other thing in my report is I'm going to ask or to let you know, whichever would be the best way to put it, that I'd like to proceed forward with the purchase of the vehicle. So we had the public meeting. Mr. Ward presented some options for the state contract bid, and those were pursued with the Expedition as well as the Tahoe. So we were able to, so the Tahoe is one size, the Expedition Max is bigger. So weighing back and forth the different options, I would like to pursue going with the Expedition Max. They're both 4-wheel drive vehicles. The Max is a little bit longer, and which will be beneficial in that I won't have to buy, or the town taxpayer won't have to buy backboards that will fold in half. This will actually be able to take a full backboard in the vehicle, whereas the Tahoe would not.
Why would that matter if you can't put people in the vehicle?
Well, I need to still be able to bring the backboard to the scene. So, even, the vehicle is more expensive, but it is still, with the adjustments of the vehicle and the adjustments of the equipment going on the vehicle, it's still within the budget that was approved by the voters in February.
How much difference?
So the expedition is 40,842, and allow me to refer to my phone as to what the Tahoe was.
Supper's done.
Can you go?
We'll be right there.
So the Tahoe was, pardon me,
In your original proposal, the vehicle, I thought we were talking 36,000.
no, it was a little bit more than that. I'm just a moment while I find it. I apologize. Actually, I'll just go to the website. It was definitely less than this expedition, but it's a different, that vehicle is smaller.
Right.
So it came with different expenses than this larger vehicle. Right now, I have full-size backboards. I'm not gonna need to buy any new backboards.
Was that with the new backboards in the original pricing?
It was not. So, the quote from, for the Tahoe was $39,476. So, and this vehicle is $40,842. So it's roughly a $1,400 increase.
Is it completely equipped?
I apologize.
Is it completely equipped?
As far as, no, it's not coming, it's built the same way as the Tahoe is. It's not coming with the pre-wiring, but that's already been factored into the upfit that I received a quote for this vehicle, and it's still within the approved amount.
So did you have to eliminate anything to keep it in that?
No. It was just, things were just changed. So like the cabinet was, the original cabinet for the back, the command center, the equipment cabinet was $6,500. The new one's gonna be $7,100. There was a built-in wiggle room when the budget request was made, in case things, because the figures were presented in 2017, and the vendors told me that there is sometimes an increase up to upwards of 5% in cost when the new year begins. So that wiggle room was established, it didn't need to be used. So to get the Tahoe, but it is, I'm asking that it be used so we can get this larger vehicle.
Are there any other anticipated changes or additions to that vehicle?
Not that have not been not any anticipated changes that have not already been factored into my updated price to you today.
And it is staying under the budget that was approved, the number that was.
That's correct. So the number that was approved was $64,924, and this upfit will be $64,790.
So you're looking to make the commitment now, correct?
Yes.
Does that need our approval where it's passed up? I
Yeah,
don't know.
the town gave you permission to spend the money, but he needs your permission to
To
commit the
actually
money.
spend the money.
I just wanna make sure all the bases are covered. We're not gonna get it and then need another $2,000 or $3,000 of special tires or
No.
lights or sirens or anything like that.
Not that's anticipated at this time. I gave the, basically, all the information that was from the Tahoe, as far as upfitting equipment, was just molded to be for the Expedition. So like the cabinet, that did increase in cost because it's a larger box. But the lighting is different, and that was, again, all of that was factored into the new figure I present tonight.
Can I ask just a question?
Sure.
Between the Tahoe and the Expedition. When you went to this Expedition, was there anything that you looked at that was equal to the Tahoe in size-wise in the Ford family?
So the equivalent in the Ford, I would imagine, would be the Explorer.
And that's
And
actually
that's
a little
smaller,
smaller.
right.
So, yeah,
I believe Ford makes a vehicle between the Explorer and Expedition.
okay.
Not in a special services vehicle package.
So you're really getting a better deal getting a bigger vehicle through the state contract.
Well, and actually, the state contract, the state contract was based in Hollowell, and I was able to work with Darling's right here in Bangor to add some more equipment to make it so that the price, add some more equipment to the vehicle without charging for it.
Yep.
To make it that the price would equal out.
How expensive are the hinged backboards?
Let me check, but it was, I believe it was around $500.
And the straight ones?
The straight ones I already have, so they'll not cost anything.
We already
So
have-
that kind of brings the difference.
And no, and the other,
$900?
I apologize.
$900 difference if we consider that.
The other thing to factor into that, having the hinge backboard versus the straight backboard, is that when I'm gonna use a hinge backboard, I'm going to have to go to Bangor every time to get one. Get that back, because nobody else has a hinge backboard that I'm going to exchange with Capital. At present, when I use a backboard off the truck, Capital gives me one off of their truck, right on the scene. So, you
That's a
know,
rather nice benefit right there.
yeah. And, you know, I mean, if we couldn't do it, we were gonna make it manageable, but where there's the opportunity to have that done. The other thing in the difference in the vehicle is that Tahoe has a lead time of 14 to 16 weeks, whereas the Expedition has a lead time of 18 to 20 weeks.
Wow.
But it's only a month, we've had it without it for this long, so a month isn't gonna make that big of a difference. And it, you know, if we can get what we can get it right the first time.
What was the Suburban price versus the Yukon, where it's a much larger vehicle?
So, yeah, I talked to, the dealer, she wasn't absolutely certain on that. I only asked her today about it, because the Suburban's not a special services vehicle.
Okay.
They don't have a package built that way. I mean, I know the city of Bangor has Suburbans, but they're not built as a special services vehicle. It's not one of their options.
Not a factory vehicle that way.
Correct.
So they just have regular vehicles and just paint them to look
Converted,
like it.
yeah, did their own.
So,
I'd probably ask Tracy how much is it.
No, I have a Tahoe.
Okay, so I was a little, the list price for a folding backboard is $650. And again, we would have to go to Bangor, and that's only for one. We carry two now. I'm only required to carry one, but this one will be able to carry two.
That doesn't make sense to have to chase them.
No. My opinion is if you make a huge score, that you have crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's, and there are no surprises coming after the authorization of the purchase, I'm all set with it. You're under the budget, just barely under the budgeted number, but you're under the budgeted number. And, the town has approved the funds, so I'm all set. But I want to make sure you're saying there's nothing else I'm gonna need.
There's nothing that I'm anticipating at this time that I'm going to need.
Politician,
Let it be
Good
known,
way.
he's covered rescue
99%
side,
sure
not
he's got
Newburgh.
all his bases covered.
All right, okay.
Chris, just tell me, we
You're
can't
right,
make the
there's no
difference.
sense in
Right.
chasing the board, there's no sense in buying new
In the
boards.
library, but.
If you can live with it for another, month, or the additional month, live without it for the additional month.
I don't,
I guess my personal opinion is I'm all set. You're under the budget, you're telling me you've got everything you need, there aren't gonna be any other surprises. You're not gonna come back to the board in 5 months and say, I need another $3,000 or $5,000.
I believe that I have all of my anticipated costs calculated into this figure that I'm presenting tonight.
I believe he'll be thrown out if he does.
I agree, I don't like spending money, it gives me a little funny feeling like stuff like this, but the town has approved it, and you've done your homework, and we certainly need a vehicle, so I'm all set with it.
I'll tell you if this makes you any more comfortable. I've spent at least 25 hours in the last month going back and forth between which two vehicles are going to be best. At least 4 or 5 hours on the phone with these dealerships and between emails and whatnot, figuring out what's going to be best.
Okay.
All right, any questions? You set?
Somebody wanna make a motion?
Yep.
See, Chris, go ahead.
Move to authorize the town manager to purchase an expedition rescue vehicle.
I apologize, may I just interrupt and ask that it would be purchased and equipped so we can do all the things that we've already had pre-approved?
Right,
Yes.
the lights,
Okay,
the,
everything.
get it, when it
Totally
comes.
equipped.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? 2-0.
Thank you.
Now we
Do
can
we
go
wanna-
back to that,
Yes.
does it cost more for more people on
No,
that program?
It does not. So if we were at some point to have the full roster of 30 people for the department, it wouldn't cost any more at all. How the cost is driven for I'm Responding is by call volume. So if we're dispatched to 100 calls or less, it's $300 a year. If we're dispatched to 100 or more, it's $800 a year.
And we've had that slightly over a year, correct?
Correct, yeah. And it's between the two divisions, it's definitely over 100.
Thoughts? You all right? All right. Renee, thoughts?
This is the new recap. I couldn't hear him the first time a little bit. Recap for me, Cindy.
The I Am Responding program that we have on our phones,
Right.
Ralph and Chris are asking to be able to renew the contract for How many years, Chris?
3 years.
3 years. And
A
it's,
total of $2,066 to be divided between the rescue
What
division.
was the amount again, Cindy?
$2,066
Yeah.
to be divided between rescue and fire.
But there's an option too of getting it just for one year.
But you can do it for 1 year,
Right, well, that would be $800.
$800.
Why don't we just do it for the 1 year? And, I mean, you know, $2,066 for 3 years?
Yes.
So it's
Where
$2,400.
everybody's using? I mean, is this something we've been using right along?
We've had it for about a year, and the majority of departments around us use it too.
Cindy, what about the budget? Where is this? Is this budgeted? Is it got an item for it?
It's not,
Chris?
yes,
Go ahead.
it's not a specific line item, but there is money for it. So at present, the rescue division budget still has roughly $9,500 in it.
Okay.
And your budget is probably at least that?
Yeah, it's around 17, I believe,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range.
My preference would be to do the 1 year, simply and I understand it's more expensive, but everything seems to be kind of fluid with what we've been doing and with radios and that sort of thing that.
Yeah, well, that was gonna be my next question. Where did the radios and pagers fall in all of this?
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So the iResponding has multiple functions. The notification aspect of it is really a secondary notification to a pager. Right when we sign the contract with the iResponding, it says in the one of the things, the points in the document says, do not abandon your pagers, because how the notification is, it goes from the comm center to their company and out through the cell phone signal. So they can only control what comes to their company and goes out. So it's a secondary notification. One of the other aspects, or one of the several other aspects of the iResponding, is it allows scheduling, which is a function we use on the rescue side. It also allows inventory management, as well as mapping, pre-planning, hydrant locations, things like that. It also allows us to keep records of training. So like I have it set up where it sends me an email weekly of, 30 days out, XYZ piece of equipment is going to expire. So let's say like the glucose, it's going to expire in 30 days, you need to think about buying some new glucose. 90 days out, the Narcan is going to expire, you need to start thinking about getting more Narcan. 100 or however far out it goes, 120 days, Joe Smith's EMS license is coming due. So you might want to start considering checking on his CEHs to make sure he's going to be able to renew when the time comes.
Can you, I believe you can send individual messages to everybody
Yes.
that's on it.
Yeah,
too.
it's also a messaging service.
It's a messaging service, so if somebody wants everybody on the department to know something outside of a call, then, they can send a message.
And we also, on the rescue division, the fire division hasn't gone to this level yet, but I'm certain that they will. You put your training schedule in there, so it sends a reminder to your crew, hey, we have training this day. Or, we're going to have a training at the office. Or if there's been a change in the location, you can just quickly get your phone up, send a quick message about that, instead of having to dial up everyone.
What about the fire department's budget? How does Ron feel about this?
He's in favor of it.
Is it favorable?
Yep.
What about the fire department's budget?
They've got about $17,000 left in their budget.
Remember, we also went into overlay
Right,
to pay them.
Yeah. one that's less money or something like that?
That'd
That's
be
what
my
I-
question.
That's how I feel about it.
In the 3 years, what's the difference in the price gonna be versus if you lock it in for now at that point? Is it gonna be $1,000 a year the next 2 years, or
Yeah, that's something we won't know.
you don't know?
Well,
I
guess
think
it's gonna
Chief
be up
Shaw and I would support whatever you guys
Yeah.
do.
We'll leave it up to Skip, I guess, because I'm gonna move that we approve the purchase of this computer program for 1 year for $800.
I'll second
All in favor? 2-0.
Thank you.
I hope you're done.
As far as money, yes, I am. We do just have one paramedic in the pipeline to potentially join up on the department who lives here in town. So we'll all think good thoughts to hope that happens.
Well, good luck
And
with
if
that.
anybody knows anybody who might want to join up, I'm sure the fire division would like more people too, but we certainly would like to have more people on the rescue division that want to be active and respond to calls. And we certainly will work with somebody on getting them the training that they need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're done. No old business. Any comments? Yep. You done? Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Did you have to think about that?
Shut down mode.